This is a summary of 3 nights of multiplayer matches I played during Broken Arrow's most recent preview. Invitations were given to influencers in the press, and unfortunately, content creator is something you can use to describe me, so I was lucky enough to get access. If you don't already know who I am, you probably don't care, so I'll keep it short. I'm a pretty mid-level player who still likes to try hard, because I really love the game. And typically, I do all my best thinking alone in a quiet room long before the matches actually start. I hadn't played the game since the open beta in November, and I didn't play these matches that great, especially at first, but I felt better by the third night, and I still had a lot of fun, so let's just get into it, and you'll see. Links to the full matches are in the description. After building my first decks with the new specializations, my first match with the press access was on a new map called Suwalki. After some poor ace combating, I brought in a late rollout of light infantry to the right flank, my plan being to hold my neutral and my natural J and I points, while pushing onto A for an advantage. That sounds really professional, but honestly I ended up just screwing around with the new SOF units for most of this. That's not me saying I didn't try, just that this was me, trying to remember how to play the game and figure out the new units, which meant lots of unnecessary obituaries, like with this little bird. Well, that didn't work. Regardless of all that, we did start taking the point as my initial SOF recon led the way for a heliborne infantry assault. Covered neatly by javelins in my defensive line, this attack looked well put together, which I think was an accident because in hindsight I don't remember being this clever at all. Let me take a point. Neither team won any points at the end of the first scoring phase, which led into me digging into the buildings to defend A. Unfortunately, I didn't have any artillery, and wasn't using my recon effectively enough, which meant I just ended up sitting in view of their recon who called very effective fire on me. This was a flaw of mine I'd struggle with a lot during all these matches, right up until the third and final night. I was too busy playing with shiny new toys and just generally being kinda bad, until I got better towards the end. Luckily for me, while I was single-mindedly playing peekaboo with the new Comanche, and painting bomb me signs in all my static positions, my teammate Ravan reenacted the Battle of Kursk on my right side. Holy shit. No, wait, we're against the Russians. It should sound more like... And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. After letting my A-10 pilot fulfill his lifelong career dream of dying in Europe for questionable gain, something similar happened to the entire tank push as it tried to drive to Moscow. I used the briefing room to bring in some more reinforcements, though honestly I still didn't establish a very firm hold. After the enemy scored a couple of points for the second phase, they pushed back onto A with combined infantry and vehicle support, and I honestly just had infantry. I really like infantry, and as I was getting back into this game, I wasn't playing well enough to have so little vehicle support. That said, I did get to see the new Rangers AT unit obliterate some T-80s. Oh, I like this unit. And believe it or not, we did take the point back thanks to some artillery from my teammates, some bombs from the Air Force, and my ability to send half a dozen soft-skin buggies into horrible urban combat just to paint a blue circle on a map. It's very important to stop feeling guilt for your soldiers as you send them to die. They love doing it. It's like enrichment for them. At least that's what my command staff keeps telling me. I didn't realize till after, but actually I'd been holding against units from like 3 players instead of V1 like I assumed, so I wasn't being outplayed as badly as I thought. That said, this about wrapped things up as I held the zone, but it wasn't enough to tip past the small points advantage the enemy scored in Phase 2 in the mid-game. I could have played better, but I also didn't play the worst game of my life. That would come later. For now, I was still just learning the game again, which brought me to my second match. If you want to see it, I'll see you in the next video.